Buried deep in the Nevada desert is Area 51, one of the most secretive military bases on the planet. It's been surrounded by mystery and tons of questions. For decades, it's been the epicenter of UFO, folklore, and government conspiracy theories. But what if the greatest secret of Area 51 isn't what's locked away inside, but what has mysteriously vanished without a trace? Today, we dive into the mysterious case of the missing Area 51 files. Our story begins in the late 1990s, a time when the internet was just starting to peel back the layers of government secrecy. A group of dedicated researchers, using the Freedom of Information Act, began requesting documents related to Area 51's activities, particularly its environmental impact. They weren't looking for aliens. They were concerned about hazardous waste disposal and its effect on former workers and the surrounding environment. For years, the government acted like Area 51 didn't even exist. But with all the buzz and legal fights, they finally had to spill the beans. They were heavily redacted, of course, with thick black lines covering most of the text. But what was released was tantalizing. It confirmed the base's existence and hinted at advanced aerospace projects. The files mentioned codenames like Project Oxcart and Half Blue, which we now know were the development programs for the A-12 and F-117 stealth aircraft. These were technologies so advanced, they would have looked like UFOs to any unknowing observer in the 1960s and 70s. But here's where it gets weird. As researchers pieced together the history of the base from these declassified documents, they noticed something was off. There were huge gaps. Entire years of records seemed to have vanished. We're not just talking about a few misplaced pages. We're talking about entire filing cabinets worth of information, seemingly gone without a trace. These weren't just any files, either. During the craziest days of the Cold War, they had records that showed just how intense things were. Area 51 was all the buzz, showcasing America's tech edge. The official explanation: routine records management. The government claimed the files were either destroyed as part of a standard procedure or were never created in the first place. But that explanation doesn't sit right with many investigators. Why would the government meticulously document some projects but not others? And why would they destroy records from such a critical period in national security history? It just doesn't add up. This is where the theories really take off. One popular idea is that these missing files contained the crown jewels of Area 51's secrets. Secrets so sensitive, they couldn't even exist in redacted form, only erased from the record entirely. This theory suggests the files detailed projects that went far beyond stealth aircraft. Could they really hold secrets about reverse-engineered alien tech? Like Bob Lazar said. Lazar, claiming he worked on alien spacecraft at a spot called Espor, said the tech was totally out of this world. If his claims were true, any documentation would rank among the most classified and tightly guarded information on the planet. Destroying it might be the only way to ensure it never, ever sees the light of day. Think about it. The files that were released confirmed that Area 51 was testing technology decades ahead of its time. What if those missing files had tech that's way beyond what we have today? We're talking about things like anti-gravity, propulsion, exotic energy sources, or even contact with non-human intelligence. The government might have concluded that the risk of such sensitive information ever leaking, even by accident, was far too great to allow it to exist, leaving the truth buried and out of reach. Another, perhaps more grounded theory, focuses on illegal activities. During the Cold War, the push to beat the Soviets was paramount. You know, some folks think Area 51 might have been up to no good, messing with international treaties or even breaking some local laws. This could range from illegal human experimentation to the testing of forbidden weapons systems, like radiological or biological agents. If records of such activities existed, their release could cause a massive international scandal and lead to criminal charges. In that scenario, making the files disappear would be the ultimate cover-up. The environmental lawsuits of the 90s already pointed to the base's willingness to handle hazardous materials with little regard for safety regulations. And who's to say what other lines may have been crossed, or what other secrets were hidden, all in the name of national security? Let's also consider a counterintelligence angle. The missing files could be part of a deliberate disinformation campaign. Imagine you're a Cold War-era intelligence agency. You know your enemies are trying to figure out what you're doing at your most secret base. What better way to confuse them than by creating a trail of breadcrumbs that leads nowhere? By releasing some documents, redacting others, and making a third set go missing, you create a cloud of mystery. You encourage speculation about aliens and UFOs, which serves as the perfect cover for the real secret: your next generation spy plane. The missing files become a ghost story, a red herring that sends rival spies on a wild goose chase, wasting their time and resources while you develop real-world, game-changing technology in peace. It's a brilliant strategy, and it's exactly the kind of move you'd expect from the shadowy world of espionage. One of the most compelling pieces of this puzzle is the timeline. The gaps in the records often coincide with major waves of UFO sightings over the American Southwest. For example, there's a significant lack of documentation from the late 1940s and early 1950s, a period right after the infamous Roswell incident. While Area 51 wasn't formally established until 1955, the area was used by the military. Is it possible that debris or technology from events like Roswell was stored and studied there, and that all records of this early research were intentionally expunged? The files are missing, the timeline is suspicious, and the official explanations feel hollow. So, what are we left with? There's this world-famous secret base, and guess what? A bunch of declassified documents just dropped, raising more questions than answers, and a gaping hole where the most crucial information should be. Are the missing files proof of a massive government cover-up involving alien technology? Or is it a more terrestrial secret about illegal weapons, testing, or a clever disinformation plot? Maybe the answer is simpler, and it really was just bureaucratic incompetence. But for a place as meticulously managed as Area 51, that seems like the least likely explanation of all. The mystery of the missing files is, in many ways, the real story of Area 51. It's not just about the strange lights in the sky. It's about the deliberate voids in our history. It's a reminder that even in an age of information, some secrets are guarded so fiercely that the keepers of those secrets would rather erase them from existence than risk them being told. The truth might not be in the files we can read, but in the ones we can't. It's hidden in the silence, in the gaps between the lines, in the files that have vanished into the Nevada desert, just like the mysterious craft they might have described. So, what's your theory about the missing files? Were they hiding proof of extraterrestrials, erasing traces of secret projects, or concealing a truth the public was never meant to see? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys into the world's greatest mysteries, only here on Forgotten Clues.